Okay, good. Yeah, it was fun. Those guys keep it light and fun. That's good.
Dan talked about the stretch that you guys have ahead of you, said he broke down the NFC picture with you. What's the competitor inside of you see and feel as you look at it all?
Yeah, we're right in the middle of it, sure. We got some games to win and some tough competition coming up starting this week with Minnesota. But yeah, we're right in that stretch now. You come back from the bye and it's go time. There's no time to really fix things or make up for lost time. We've done that already at this point, and it's time to go.
As a leader, how do you keep guys engaged over the bye and not, kind of just pick up where y'all left off? How do you keep guys?
Yeah, I don't think you really have to. On our squad, our guys are focused, and I thought today was one of our better practices all year, and we got after it.
One thing Dan talked about is something bye week gives you time to self-evaluate a little bit. He talked about third down a little bit. You guys were, I think, almost 50% last year, third in the league. I think you're right around 37% right now.
Yeah.
What's been the biggest issue in your mind with third down?
Just execution, a simple execution. Staying in third and manageable is certainly the goal. And when you get in third and long, it becomes harder. But you got to convert on some of those. And I think last week was a pretty good example of not being good enough in that area. And I think if we had converted a few more of those, the game's maybe a little bit different. So, yeah, just focusing on ways to improve there, and we will.
Flores doing anything different on defense this year? Same?
There's some different. There's some of the same. Well coached, fast, fly around, good, hard-nosed players. Play hard for them. It's a good group.
When they're going to blitz, you're accustomed to that. But when they have some new interior guys that are kind of guys that can knife and penetrate into the backfield, what kind of added challenges does that add to that?
Yeah, that's their whole thing. They want to penetrate. They want to get in the backfield. They want to get, typically 5 or 6 guys rushing, one-on-ones on everybody. In that case, they run some pick games, they run some stunts, they do a little bit of everything, and they want to disrupt your timing and get in the backfield. And it's up to us up front and to me to get the ball out and do everything right.
Your 2 young guys up front, Christian and Tate, have seemed to come a long way since week 1. In your eyes, where have they grown the most the past 2 months?
Oh, that's a great question. Where have they grown the most? I think they're both just so much more comfortable now than week 1, and I don't think that's an indictment of where they were on week 1. It's just time on task and reps, and I think Christian's more comfortable next to Taylor now, and Tate next to Panay, and just gelling a little bit and getting comfortable with the way that Graham slides 2 or away from them, that whole thing, and their combination blocks. It's been good to see, and they both are in a pretty good rhythm right now.
You kind of just touched on it, but how do you feel their growing comfort under center on Sundays, on game days?
Ask that again.
How do you feel their growing comfort under center? Like, how does that?
Oh, sure. I think in between plays, like in the huddle, there's no flinch, there's no deer in headlights, and it's just very focused. What's the next play? Forget about whatever happened on the previous one and move on. And both those guys have played in big games. I mean, Tate certainly at Georgia has played in some really big games, so none of this is too big for either of them.
Jared, you guys have been so good over the years on third and fourth down. Numbers have dipped a little bit this year. Is that, you think, an anomaly, or do you think defenses now are? I
think it's got all to do with us, honestly. Sure, there's been some defenses that have given us issues, but if we execute properly on some of these downs, it's a different story. I think of the one last week to J-Mo across the middle. He's open. Like I put it on his face or put it on his chest. He's making that catch, and that's another conversion. There's a handful of those I could think of. But yeah, it's just pure execution, and starts with me.
When you look at so many weapons on this team, you spoke about J-Mo before, but just how do you see him continue to be a big part of this team going on?
Of course, yeah.
Like, how do you get him a little more involved? Is that something you guys want to emphasize going forward?
Yeah, we would love to, of course. We want to win the game, we want to score points, and I think that's the primary for everybody. But of course, yeah, we'd love to get him involved more and get him the rock in a million different ways. And he's explosive. I know defenses are worried about him at all times, and we need to find ways to continue to keep him involved.
Jared, you guys and the Vikings were neck and neck, going for this fight for the NFC North last year. A little different this year, just in terms of their record. How are they? Or what are the stakes of this game? Do you have to remind anyone that still how good they are?
No, a division game. We want to win our division. We want to win every division game. These guys are in our division. They're a good team. They've been good for a long time. They're extremely well coached. They've got extremely good players. They're going to come in here and give us everything they got. And we got to know that coming in and give them everything we got.
You become increasingly efficient year after year. Numbers are up even a little bit more this year after last year. So when you evaluate maybe yourself during this break, 7 games, where are you pleased with where your game's at, and where are you still chasing improvement?
Getting the ball out I've been pleased with, trying to avoid sacks and my completion percentage, and just getting the ball into our guys' hands as often as possible and get it out of mine, really, and just continue to improve that. Where can I improve? I think there's some areas of aggressiveness that I can be a little bit more aggressive, and I say that, and then, you know, I'll make a poor decision and say I need to not be so aggressive in certain situations. So, yeah, it's a double-edged sword there. But yeah, maybe there's some areas where I can do that. But at the same time, if I'm getting the ball in our guys' hands underneath, regardless, it doesn't really matter. So, sorry if that didn't answer your question, but yeah.
With the completion percentages, Jared, I mean, it's on kind of a historic pace. I know you're just chasing wins week after week after week, but when do you ever think about, you know, record-breaking things? Is that something you reflect on after a season ever?
That. Yeah, no, I won't think about that. It's so dang hard, man, every week to try to play well and win games, and yeah, I've been able to keep a pretty good percentage there, but it's just a product of me being kept upright and our guys getting open and me being pretty accurate with it. But want to try to continue that and yeah, see where it goes.
How much of the bye week is self-scouting? Like sounds like how much of the bye week is self-scouting? I mean, I know you take some days off and can relax, but is there self-scouting, or are you looking at opponents?
I think you're thinking critically and being critical of yourself, and more so than maybe during a week when you have to turn over so quickly a day later to the next team. You have 3 or 4 days to kind of think about what you can do better, how you want to approach the last 10 games of the season, how you want to come back in the building, and certainly that was part of my thoughts.
I see BB waiting to talk to us. Just what sort of receptions you guys give him when he
Yeah,
gets back in the building?
I'm glad he's back in here. He looks good. He's ready to go and ready to go play.